Okay, so this session is about building personalized, engaging digital experience using Lightning Community. So I'm Ken Hui. I'm an engineering manager with the Community Cloud.
David Green, product manager with Community Cloud.
So before we start, by the show of hand, like how many of you guys have used Community Builder before? Quite a few. So that's
Ooh,
awesome. So
nice.
we can kind of breeze through the intro for Community then. Um, so first of all, I want to say thank you for you guys because if if we don't have your innovation, your creativity, building custom Lightning components for community, we wouldn't be as successful as a platform as we are today. So thank you very much. Um, so the usual forward-looking statement, make sure you make your purchase decision based on the existing functionality and features.
Everybody's memorized this slide by now. We'll just burn it into your retinas pretty soon.
Exactly. So what a community. We are basically a digital experience platform that allow customer to allow your business to connect with customer, partners, employees with engaging and intelligent experiences, and also help them transform the way they sell, service, market, and innovate. So there's basically three major pillars, right? The first one is the website, the application that your user will be using. So we provide a set of tools that allow customization, branding. David, we're gonna go through the community builder later on. And our website also come with out-of-the-box mobile responsiveness. So all the community out-of-the-box will work on mobile. So the second pillar is we expose the underlying Salesforce data to your customer and partners to facilitate the interaction within the community. The third one is collaboration. Some of you might know that we call it the Chatter app. So we provide the user profile, the groups, so that people can easily kind of communicate and collaborate within the community. So that's kind of the three major pillars of our product. So let's kind of jump in and kind of look at the more detailed view on how our architecture works. So on the first layer, you can see we get everything that Salesforce App Cloud provides. So the workflow, the identity, authentication, so we get it out of the box. And then the next layer, we provide a set of tools that what we call the community workspaces. So those are the tools that you can use to manage and monitor your community. For example, we have the moderation tools. It allows the community manager to kind of monitor what's going on within the community. Is there anyone saying bad words when they're posting and things like that? For example, reputation. You can have gamification within your community. You can engage people and encourage them to engage in conversation. So all this come kind of out of the box when you use our product. So on top of that, we kind of touch on it, is the Lightning Builder, Lightning Community Builder. It is a WYSIWYG tool that allow you to drag and drop different components onto your pages. You can customize your branding, changing your color, branding color, background color, changing your font. So it's a really user-friendly tool for you to kind of customize your community. And within the builder, we already have a lot of out-of-box components. So the feed, the user profile component, the record home component, the record list component. I think we have more than like 40 of them right now.
I think we're up to almost 75 now.
75, okay, that's a new record. So we have 75 out-of-the-box component, but we also have an open Lightning component ecosystem. So as you can see, some of our partners have been building components for the community builder. So for example, Coveo. Coveo is one of our partners who built a federated search, which can search through Salesforce data as well as some external data source. And they created a custom Lightning component to be exposed in Community Builder so people can just drag and drop and use it. And then on top of the Lightning Builder, we have the boat solutions. I think a lot of you are familiar with the Napili template. So it focused on kind of the customer service use case. And in the last release, we started exposing the Partner Central template. And then going forward, we're just going to have more and more template focused on different use cases. So those three templates I just mentioned is out of the box from Salesforce. If you use Committee, it will just show up in your committee creation wizard. We also have an open platform that allows our partners to build industry-specific boat solutions. So you can see a list of partners on the right, PwC, Deloitte, Accenture. Together, they have been building probably over 30 boat solutions over probably half a year time. The industry ranging from healthcare, FinServ, to partner management. So as you can see, our product has a really vibrant ecosystem here. And this slide just shows kind of some of our customer who has built community for the use cases. For example, Adidas, they built a B2B e-commerce portal using community. American Express, they built a employee community using our product. So our platform is actually really flexible and really easy to use. And David gonna kind of jump in and do some demo on it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so there's just a couple of vignettes I'm going to take you guys through. I saw a lot of hands up earlier for community builders, so we're definitely going to be focused on a lot of the key things new with Summer 17, but I'll sprinkle in just a couple refreshers if you guys haven't spent some time recently in the product. So first, what I always like to start off with is just a couple of live sites that are out there today, and kind of talk about sort of the evolution of theming. So theming has been a big journey for us. At the end of the day, fundamentally a community. It's a website, whether it's for your customers, your employees, or partners. And a key aspect of that is being able to completely control the look and feel of the community. So one of our customers, OpenX, they've been a great customer for a while. They launched back when the Napili template was sort of in infancy stage. They were able to get something out of the box pretty quick. Met their use case. They've done some basic branding to it, but still looks a little bit like what you would expect if you're using the Napili template from Salesforce. The next community, which is for Relativity with Kaikura. So they took the Napili template and started doing a little bit of additional custom theming. So they created a custom header component. So they gave them a little more flexibility and control over the placement of different aspects, but they're still using our out-of-the-box components. They started to integrate some HTML, rich text editor. So again, they're starting to take it a little bit further from a branding perspective. And the last one of the latest ones that I like to showcase, again, because these are all publicly accessible, is the help site from Hulu. So Hulu worked with one of our partners, Proficient, to build this community out. Believe it or not, this is on the Napili template in the back end. They have a custom theme as well as a mix of some custom components as well as some out-of-the-box components that they've stylized. And this fundamentally is the journey that we're trying to take communities on from a theming perspective. We'll show you how to actually do it in just a minute with code. But the goal eventually is to bring all of that capability inside of builders. If you guys have played around with Wix, Squarespace, Weebly, anything where you have rich visual editing functionality within a WYSIWYG environment, that's where we're taking the product. So this is our lovely demo community, Capricorn. hey, if you've hung out with us for a while, you're going to be stuck with this coffee theme for probably the next decade. We just can't get rid of it. So we built a pretty standard self-service community, a Napili template. We've done some very basic, ugly branding just to emphasize some few points. But let's go ahead and actually just jump over into the community builder and show you how easy the theming to completely change the UI up. So most everybody was familiar with Community Builder, but again, if you're not, this is that WYSIWYG environment Ken was talking about. So you've got drag-drop access to all of our out-of-the-box Lightning components. Any custom components that are available that you've built out or installed from partners are here. You can pull them down from App Exchange. You have access to some of the basic branding tokens. But let's go ahead and actually just go into the theme itself. So in settings,
David, I think we have to change the.
I'm going to do a mic change on the fly.
On the fly. Should do some dance.
I'll take a mic change over the demo. Still working. All right. Cool. Here we go. So we're back. So in builder settings, so I've gone ahead and actually created a custom theme layout in advance. And really, this is just a Lightning component at the end of the day that implements the Force Community Theme Layout interface. I've defined some Aura attributes in here, but at the end of the, really fundamentally it comes down to HTML and CSS. So that's what all website developers are used to working with. So in my theme layout, I've defined a few div classes. I've dropped in a couple of our out-of-the-box components like navbar. So I've defined some of my sections, looking pretty good. I have my CSS that I've gone ahead and worked with. So applying some CSS both to all of those div classes I defined, as well as using some media queries for the responsive nature of everything. But when I flip back over to Builder, and let's just go ahead and apply that custom theme layout, which is the Capricorn Cafe theme. We'll just say, yep, I acknowledge that I'm going to hide some out-of-the-box regions on here. And crossing my fingers that Wi-Fi is still working, let's go ahead and publish these changes out. With the spring release, if you guys are familiar a little bit with theming, we did roll that out in winter. With spring, we introduced the ability to actually theme on a page variation level. So instead of just being able to control the entire look and feel of the community, you can actually go all the way down to individual pages and even page variations. So if you wanted to have for whatever reason, a very different look and feel based off of a user profile or what I'm about to show you, which is kind of an unauthenticated, authenticated guest versus member view, have that out of the box with clicks, not code. So I've gone ahead, applied my custom theme layout. I'm going to jump back over that same home page for the community. I'm not logged in. So let's just go ahead and hit refresh here. And when this pulls up, this is now my themed homepage of that same Napili community targeted to my guest users. So I still have my nav menu. I still have my user profile. I still have the Salesforce search box component. I even got a little artistic and went ahead and did some styling to our featured topics component and tagged those onto the bottom. But fundamentally, from a functionality perspective, from a drag and drop perspective, everything is still there inside of Builder. So again, with theming, the goal is to really allow you guys to start building out some very rich, engaging experiences that I'm sure your customers are looking for. At the end of the day, our customers don't want to have their corporate website look one way. You jump over to the community and it looks completely different. Not to mention that their marketing and branding person might probably take them to the hill if they pull that off. So that's one of the things we wanted to walk through from a demo perspective. The next piece we're going to talk about is theming is great, being able to control the UI, look and feel of the community itself. I even forgot to mention, with a custom theme, you've got full control from a media query perspective as well. So again, I'm still using our out-of-the-box search component. I'm using our featured topics, but I've just gone ahead in that custom theme and said, for any mobile device, let's go ahead and switch up some of the CSS styling a little bit. The styling aspect is great, but I think for a lot of people when they're building out communities, content is king. Whether it's employees, partners, customers, it doesn't matter. It's really about the content of the community itself. So the next feature we're going to take you guys through just rolled out with the Summer 17 release. It's called CMS Connect. It is in beta, but it is available if you have communities and you've upgraded your template version and you're on summer release. You've got full reign to go play with this. CMS Connect was really our answer to the question that's happened for the last year and a half since I've been here of, I have content in external systems that either are used across all of my web properties or it's where my marketing team generates all of their collateral. I want to bring that into the community, but I don't want to duplicate everything. I don't want to have to worry about a global header change across all of my websites that I then have to copy paste in HTML to my community. Make that easier. So CMS Connect with that feature allows you to seamlessly integrate content from external systems. With a summer release, it's support for Adobe Experience Manager, but you can imagine down the line in future releases, we're going to have out-of-the-box support for other CMS solutions like Drupal, like Sitecore, and even custom solutions that are out there from an integration perspective. So if you guys have a homegrown system, we'll have all the documentation on how you can hook that in. And what we're looking at is actually, a pretty decent looking corporate website for Capricorn Coffee. So this is their corporate website. They've got a global header, they've got a global footer, and they've got some content they've created, and this entire site was built on Adobe Experience Manager. So let's actually flip over and just kind of walk you quickly through how easy it is with CMS Connect to bring a couple of those elements into the community itself. So the first screen we've got up is Workspaces. So if you guys haven't enabled this feature yet, I would highly encourage you to. This is sort of the new central hub that replaces the Community Management Console, fondly known as CMC, not to be confused with CNC Music Factory. There you go, Eric Lerner. And inside of Workspaces, we actually have this CMS Connect tile. So clicking in here, as always, I'm a PM, I cheat, so I've got some stuff pre-configured. But I've already created a connection out to Adobe Experience Manager inside my CMS workspace. So let me just pop it open and show you how straightforward this is from a config setting. So I pointed to I've got my server URL. I'm looking at my endpoint. From an AEM perspective, they have a very structured way of how they output all the content that's been created. So I know what my root path is. I've included some CSS that I also created in Adobe Experience Manager to control the overall styling. If I had any JavaScript that was attached to this, I could actually plug that in as well. And last but not least, for multilingual, there's enabling language mapping. So Adobe Experience Manager has their syntax for multilingual. We have ours in Salesforce. This is just the easy way to kind of tie those two tokens together. So I've got this set up. And let's go ahead and jump over into the builder really quick. And while that's pulling up, with CMS Connect, there's two things I'm going to show you guys. One is quick drag and drop for just pulling in a global header, global footer. That's kind of like child's play for what the biggest customer pain point is of just give me one. I need it to be consistent across all my web properties. And then after we go through some audience targeting, we'll actually we'll go ahead and pull in a banner from AEM as well. So here I am, I'm back in Builder. And to configure my global header and footer, I'm going to drop into Settings. And this new CMS Connect tab is going to be available to me. So I am just going to pick my CMS connection source. I'm going to cheat because I remember these off the top of my head. I've got my header and I've got my footer. And that's really just the path to the blob that gets created in Adobe Experience Manager. And once Builder does a quick little refresh on me here, I've got my global header up top that's now seamlessly pulled in. That's actually coming directly through our AEM server. And I've got my global footer that's pulled in directly through AEM. So within a couple clicks, I've now got global header and footer consistently applied across all the pages in my community. Any updates that are made in AEM are going to be automatically be reflected here. This is all rendered inline. It's not rendered in an iframe. So for responsive nature, everything still works out of the box as you would expect. So this is starting to look pretty good. The next thing I want to think about doing with this community, though, is starting to do a little bit more personalization. And so we've got a great persona, Lauren Boyle. Again, if you've been with us for a while, yeah, it's Lauren. She's sticking around for a while, unfortunately for her. So I've actually gone ahead and kind of created a page variation. And think about page variations today as a way for you to have different pages within your community that you can target based off of different audience criteria. And I'll show you what that means in just one second. So I've got a page here that I've started to create, and I've gone ahead as a page variation. I've kind of reconfigured some of the topics. I have different components on here. I've gone ahead and actually pulled in an HTML editor component. So this is raw HTML source. This is a net new component with the summer 17 release as well. So it's starting to look pretty good. And I've gone ahead and also just quick drag drop. Most of you are familiar with this, but it is as easy as just pulling in a record list to immediately bring in CRM data from the internal org. So I've pulled in a record list, and I'm showing all of Lauren's shipments directly inside of the community when she's authenticated. So that's starting to look pretty good. But there's one piece that I do want to actually roll through. And as Capricorn Cafe, we're planning to launch a new product. And for this product launch, we actually have sort of a targeted launch happening. There's going to be one product launching for Canada, separate product launching for the US. And with some of the functionality in audience targeting, when this pulls up, I'm going to show you how easy it is using page variations and audience targeting for me as a PM, not a developer, to actually go ahead and build this out. So the first page we're looking at is the page variation for Canada. So in Canada, we're launching the DeLonghi. No clue who comes up with their names. And basic stuff, I think I've got an embedded video. I pulled in an article, and then I pulled in a registration form. So pretty standard. Switch over to the US version of the page. And I've changed the page layout. I've used a different article that I'm pulling in. This is all great, starting to look pretty good. How I'm actually going to target this is through audiences. So when you go into the page properties, you've got page variations. And then for each of these variations, I can go ahead and say, target this variation against a given audience. And really what that means under the hood is point and click. I can go in and create an audience targeting using any profile that's available inside of my org. I have geo-IP detection, which is what we'll use for the demo. I can target based off of record type. And with the summer release, we actually have added a domain as well. So we'll continue to add additional criteria in here. You can imagine in future releases that we'll have the ability to target based off of user object and just continue to add more additional content that you're going to be able to use from a criteria perspective. But for time's sake, this is all looking pretty good. I am going to go ahead and hit publish. Sounds great. We'll cheat. We'll jump over to the Capricorn Cafe community, logged in as Lauren Boyle. So this is my personalized homepage for Lauren that I had created back in the builder. I've got my global header. I've got my global footer that are served up from AEM. Everything else is looking pretty good. So as Lauren, let's go ahead and kind of click into this promo banner that was here. And lo and behold, we're in San Francisco, so we are seeing the US version of the page. And just to not blow any smoke, let's switch our IP address up to Canada. Do a quick page refresh. And I am now seeing the Canadian version of the page because geo-IP is what I decided to use from an audience targeting perspective on my page variations. So a lot of this is going to be really powerful as you think about the overall look and feel of the community, how you're able to pull in content from external systems, and then how you're able to use audiences to start targeting and really personalizing that experience within the community itself. The last one that we'll run through is Lightning Bolt. So Ken mentioned this earlier. Lightning Bolt at the end of the day for us is really a tool for all of you to leverage to build communities more efficiently. So it's all about reuse. It's about being able to package and distribute essentially a community that you built out to your customers' orgs. They can then further customize them from there. I always like to think about it very similar to our Salesforce out-of-the-box templates. This is your ability to build essentially your own template and push that out to all of your customers. So for this, I've gone ahead and actually pulled up, I'm in Community Builder in a different org now, but we pulled up a community that I've gone ahead and built out. So this is actually a community that one of our partners, Accenture, built out for Zurich back at the last Dreamforce release. And it's focused on mortgage brokers. So a lot of great rich functionality in here. With summer release, we have native support for leads, opportunities, lead inbox. So a lot of pieces around partners. So for indirect, direct channel sales, those are now out-of-the-box components that communities support. So I've gone ahead, I've created this community in Community Builder. It's looking pretty good. I've got some custom Lightning components. I even dropped in a little Wave dashboard, a la visual page, although Wave is now a native out-of-the-box Lightning component with the summer release. But let's say I want to go ahead and actually take this community up and package it, give it to my customer, who in this case is Zurich, have them install it in their org, and then create their final community out of it. So under Settings, and then I click into Developer, it is as easy as this. So I do have the ability to export an individual page out of my community if I want, but I'm going to go ahead and export the entire solution. So I've got some basic information. I've given it a name. I've categorized it. I've uploaded some preview images, dropped in a summary, talked about a few of the features. Let's go ahead and hit Export. The export process right now is essentially just taking all of the Lightning pages, the Lightning components, and the branding and the theming of the community. It is creating in the internal Salesforce org outside of Community Builder, essentially metadata versions of those. So great, exported successfully. I could go ahead and jump over to the packaging section. So for time's sake, we'll fast forward. We'll say that I went ahead, created a new package. I added my community into that. Went ahead and installed it into my customer's org. And as the customer now, again, just to prove that we are not just smoke and mirrors, I have this installed package, so let's go check it out. Maybe. And all right, so I have my Accenture Insurance Agent V2 package. I've installed into the org. Looks great. I want to fire up a new community based off of this Bolt solution, though. So when I jump over to my community creation wizard, the first tile that I should see is exactly that insurance agent portal Bolt solution that we had created as a developer, and in this case, Accenture, back in my own org. Now, the great part is if I'm Accenture and I'm using this for multiple customers with a very similar type of use case, I'm now building once. I'm reusing everything, I'm distributing to my customer, and then I do sort of the final mile changes in my customer's org. So if I was to go in, just like our out-of-the-box templates, could go ahead, create a new community based off of this, and then I'm up and running in Builder. So with that, those are sort of the key things we wanted to walk you guys through, sort of a little mix of what's new in summer versus what's new over the last release or two. So I wanted just to kind of leave off with, we have some more sessions that are coming up tomorrow. So first is a little bit of a deep dive workshop on Service Cloud and Community Cloud. So that's happening at Breakout Room 1 at 11:15. Next at 11:30, I know they overlap. I won't promote one or the other. I have love for all. But we are going to do a deep dive into how to actually build a theme. So we're going to have a couple folks come up and walk you through the code itself, talk a little bit more about Lightning Bolt, talk a little bit about how to build high-performance Lightning communities, and so what best practices. And then later in the afternoon tomorrow, we're going to have a dedicated session on CMS Connect. So for a full 30 minutes, the team's going to take you really deep into the product, some of the features, talk roadmap, et cetera. we have got a demo booth going. We're in there, so you can always stop by. Love to talk, answer any and all questions, get feedback. This is an incredible opportunity for us to hear from you guys what we should be building next. We're always active up on partner community. Plug for Trailhead. And finally, thank you guys for the time and for coming all the way out here. I know it's not easy to take 2 days off, so we greatly appreciate it. And we'll stick around for any questions afterward.
Yep.